Hey guys, this is Radio Man. Today, I have a SCUM video for you, and I'm going to show you how I like to build my character for what I feel is the best all-around start on a PvP server. My build is designed with long-term play in mind, and there will be some grinding to get your non-essential PvP skills, like survival and engineering, to effective levels. This is not hard to do, and I'll show you how to do it fast in a future video. Okay, on with the show. I want to begin by saying there are no right or wrong builds in this game. As long as you build to complement your playstyle, you will do alright. But no matter how you make your character, there are two rules you should always follow. First thing is come down to penis size, or bust size if you're making a female character. And what you're going to want to do is set it as close as possible to what it is in real life. Haha, just kidding guys. Swallow your pride and dial it all the way back. This will give you an extra 1.5 attribute points, and they will come in handy, much more than a few extra pixels in your virtual pants will. The second rule is set all of your attributes to at least 3.1. This is because in order to get advanced tier skills, you need 3.0 in the governing attribute. Otherwise, your skills will be capped at medium. You should take at least 3.1, because if you suffer in-game deficiencies either through malnutrition or injury, your attributes will drop, and if they go below 3.0, you will lose access to advanced skills. This extra 0.1 will give you a little buffer in these situations until your attributes return to starting values. Now let me add here, there is currently no way in-game to raise strength and intelligence above the starting value. The constitution and the dexterity can actually be raised through diet and exercise, but will drop back to starting value upon death and respawn. More on this in a later video. An optional rule, if you want to min-max your PvP effectiveness, is create a female character with dark skin. As a female, you have a slightly smaller, thus harder to see frame. You also sit to pee, adding a tactical edge to your bathroom breaks. Having dark skin will help exposed areas blend into your surroundings. The tattoos do camouflage white skin, but there are only 4 options so far, and they are kind of cheesy, so I don't take any. Now, on to my attributes. First up, we've got strength. This stat governs things like your carry weight and how hard you hit in melee. It determines how well you handle firearm recoil and the weight of the bow you can effectively draw. It will also influence how long it takes to cock a crossbow. I set mine at 4. Next is Constitution. As far as I know, all this does right now, outside of skill points for running and endurance, is determine your starting hit points and body fat. I set mine at 3.5. You don't lose many hit points by not putting it higher, and you will still die just as quick to gunfire anyway. The extra body weight comes off fast enough too. Now, I expect this attribute will mean much more with the future metabolism updates, when you will have to worry about getting sick, fighting infections, and so on. Until then, 3.5 is fine. Your dexterity defines how fast you pretty much do everything, from walking and sprinting to regular tasks like crafting, eating, and weapon reloading. Being fast is good, so I set mine to 4. Your intelligence, right now, doesn't do much. It will determine how many people you can have in your squad and supposedly help you level your other skills faster. I did a little testing once, leveling skills with different intelligence, and I didn't notice much, if any difference. Really, unless you want to start a big squad, I'd say you'd be fine setting this at 3.1, but there are important skills under this attribute that are a pain in the ass to grind, so for the extra skill points I set mine to 4. But Radio Man, you basically just spread them all even. Shouldn't I focus? Well, the answer to that is yes, no, maybe. I believe the real value of your build is in your skills, and with this spread, you will be able to hit the ground running with a good PvP set. This will help keep you alive and entertained while you level your survival skills, either through playing or just straight grind. Now, on to my skill setup. First, we'll have a look at our strength skills. Start by setting melee weapons to medium. There. You'll mostly only be fighting the puppets with melee weapons, so you can save your precious ammo for PvP. Medium melee with 4 strength is plenty fine for dropping even the fat puppets within a few hits. You don't need advanced for PvP because you'd likely be bringing a knife to a gunfight in that case anyway. Next, dump the rest into rifles. You won't get quite You won't quite get advanced tier, but it's close. With 4 strength, rifles are very manageable at medium. And if you are regularly joining events, which you should be if you want to PvP, and accumulate more than 1,000 fame, you will level it the rest of the way to advance in no time at all. This skill also oversees crossbows and can be leveled by using one. Now, you're always going to want a weapon, so boxing is basically useless, unless you're into the MMA events. Handguns and bows, while very handy, I like to leave at 0. They both can be leveled easily by shooting the puppets, and it's a great way to farm fame for those respawns when you inevitably die. Moving on to the Constitution skills. All we have here right now is running and endurance. I set running to medium. And then I put the rest into endurance. If you end up running everywhere like I do, this will level up while playing. Endurance seems to go a little slower, so I start this one a little higher. You can see by the grayed out skills here, swimming, resistance, I'm sure there will be more, that this attribute will be much more important after future updates. Once metabolism, etc. is added, I will have to reevaluate how many points I place into this attribute. Next up, we've got the Dexterity Skills. The most important one here is going to be your stealth. It helps you creep around quieter and makes it easier to sneak past the mechs, which guard the good stuff. You also won't aggro the puppets as easy with high stealth. I set mine to max. The rest I put into driving. In a PvP situation or in a PvE emergency, you're going to want your car to start, and you're going to want to find your gears. Less than basic, and that's no guarantee. It isn't really guaranteed at basic either. I wish I had enough to go to medium, but I will settle to not have to start with lower stealth. You can level this by driving around as much as you possibly can. Throwing is basically useless. You can level it by throwing rocks at puppets if you want. Thievery, demolition are very situational. You do need demo skill to make certain explosives, and a high demo will give you more time in the bomb defusal minigame. Thievery determines what tier of lock you can pick and how quick you break your picks. You can at least pick the most basic locks you find in the police stations and bunkers with no skill. So really, unless you're planning on raiding player bases or doing kill boxes, you don't really need any skill in these. You can grind them both by making a practice lockpick board or a practice bomb and doing the minigames. You don't waste picks and screwdrivers while practicing. Last up, let's take a look at the intelligence skills. First, we have awareness. This is what I believe to be the single most important skill in the game. This skill will help you hear sounds better while focusing, spot threats from further away, and adds a small mod to your role on loot tables when you search containers. Awareness is also the check that is performed against your opponent's camouflage skill, allowing you to see a hidden enemy. Basically, this skill will help you know what's going on around you much easier, allowing you to apply your player skill and react accordingly, which is at the core of being a good PvPer. Max this skill out. Yes, it can be leveled by playing, but it kind of takes forever, and it's better to benefit from advanced awareness right from the start. Next, put the rest of your points into camouflage. Good camo will effectively make you invisible to players when hiding in bushes and in the grass. If their awareness check doesn't spot you, you will simply not render on their screen. You can't quite make medium with this build, but you can level it fairly easy in-game. You just equip some camo clothes and lie in the grass. It's best to be mindful while you are playing, and anytime you AFK for the bathroom or a drink or whatever, go prone in the grass. If you are waiting for your friends to get ready to head out, go prone in the grass. Are you waiting for an injury to heal? Go prone in the grass. You get the idea. But you will want to check that your skill is actually increasing, as not all grass is camo grass, I guess. Sniping, I just leave it empty. It's easy to level with any scope weapon, either against puppets or in events. Survival and engineering are both very important, but you can get by in the beginning with no skill. They are both very easy to level with a little grind, and also just by playing. I will show you in detail how I like to do them both in another video. So, there you have it. All that's left is hit create, and you'll spawn in a random location on the island with nothing but the clothes on your back. With this build, some player skill, an axe, and a gun, you should have no problem holding your own against a few puppets or even a player or two. You will also be very competitive in events. In the next one, I'll show you what I like to do as soon as I spawn before looking for loot or a fight. If you like this and you want to see more, please help me by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Leave any suggestions in the comments or join my Discord and say hi. Maybe even join me for a game. The link will be in the description. Until next time, this is Radio Man. signing off.